So, good morning, everyone. This is Michele Molitor here with Wonder Women Unite. I'm delighted to be with you all today. For those of you who are listening in who couldn't join us, it is June 16th, and we're going to be talking about today how to operate more often from your genius zone, that place where things flow more easily and effortlessly. So that you can do what you love and love what you do. So, but before we dive into all of that, I just want to go around the room and have everybody introduce themselves. Where are you from? What do you do? And what are you passionate about? So who would like to start?
I'll start.
Sure, dive in.
I'm Jen Sadowski. I'm from Connecticut, East Haven, Connecticut, and I work in New Haven. I work for the Regional Water Authority, and I'm the administrator for the board that governs the city.
Hey, Jen, can you get closer to your mic? You sound really far away.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
So I work at the Water Authority in New Haven, Connecticut, and I'm the board administrator for the two boards that run the Water Authority. My passion, really, besides my job, because I love my job, is nutrition and fitness. That's my secret passion. But while I'm here, I've learned a lot about leadership, and I'm looking to improve ways at work, improve myself, and I'm hoping that getting out and reaching out to people who have this experience will help me.
Great. Well, so delighted you're here. Thank you. Miss Monique. See if we can get her to come off mute.
You know what that was. Hi, hi, Kenneth Swanson. Hi, I'm calling in from Utah. I am traveling right now, so I probably won't participate, although we will be listening. I'm a leadership coach, and that's about where I'm going to go from right now. So,
all right.
Okay.
Great. Well, thanks, Monique. We're glad you're here. Fantastic. And then as others join in, we'll have them introduce themselves. So a couple of things I always like to share with everyone how we're growing. I started this group about a year ago, almost now. And since then, we have organically grown to 197 members as of today. That's 12 new members just since last month, so that's always exciting. And we literally have women from all over the world, from Moscow to Australia to South Africa to India to Singapore. It's just so exciting to me. So the more we can engage with each other via the Lean In Circles social page and via the Facebook page that I've created for Wonder Women Unite ! Because there's a couple other Wonder Women groups out there too, is fantastic, because this is all about supporting you and your growth and your leadership and your wholeness, your wellness, stepping fully into who you are, to be all of who you are and bring all the wonderful, amazing gifts that you have out into the world. Couple of things. Next week, we have a bonus call, our expert hour call. And Tammy Cabell of Career Resume Consulting is going to be our expert hour host or guest speaker. And she's going to be talking with us about the amazing insider tricks on how to utilize LinkedIn in a good way. She has been using LinkedIn like a super ninja over the last year and has accelerated the growth of her business probably by, 300%, something really crazy like that. And so she's going to share with us all sorts of great tips and tricks on how to utilize the new LinkedIn interface, overcome some of the challenges, how to update your profile in a way that garners more visibility for you, whether it's in your position in your job or for your business. And yeah, so you don't want to miss that out. It's going to be the same time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, next Friday, June 23rd. That's 12:30 Eastern time, and that's 5:30 British UK time for everyone who's listening in. I'll send out a reminder about that after our call today. I didn't want to confuse people. Excuse me. So, and apparently Mr. Eli Kitty here wants to join the call as well. Has something to say, as always. He's very helpful.
Michele.
Yes, ma'am.
Michele, would that be on the same Zoom number, or will that be a different Zoom link?
I'll send out, with the announcement, I'll send out the Zoom link as well.
Perfect.
So
thank you.
you'll have all of that in one hotspot. So today's topic we're going to be discussing is, how do you operate more from your genius zone, and what does that look like? What does that feel like, right? So I'm curious for you all. Jen, you said you really love your job. Tell me what it is about your job that you love so much, and what is it about that feels good to you?
I love my job here because I'm with a team, but yet I work independently. I have a lot of responsibility, and I have a lot of opportunity for growth, which is great. They're very supportive, and everybody here is helpful in any way that I need it, which is great. I still have a lot to learn, but I feel like since I've been here, I've just like flourished with who I am and who I want to be. So, yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love hearing stories like that, because unfortunately, not everybody feels that way about their work. We can easily get caught into the grind of doing a job to earn the paycheck, to pay the rent or the mortgage or whatever, right? And you can go along a whole long way doing that until you can't do it anymore, or the universe or your spirit goes, hey, this isn't for you. You need to change gears. So I'm curious, Monique, what is it that you enjoy about your work, and what does that bring you? See if she's going to come off mute. All right. You there, Monique? Okay, well, she's probably driving or something, so we'll just let her listen in. I know for myself, I used to be a creative director in web development for many years, and I literally woke up one day and was like, I don't really care about building multi-million-dollar websites. Like, really just wasn't floating my boat anymore. And you have to be really mindful of what you speak into the universe, because a week later, I found out I was getting laid off. I was like, oh, wow, okay. That's not quite what I was expecting. And it was a very, very painful breakup, so to speak. The whole process of it was just devastating to me. But it was a total blessing in disguise. And in hindsight, what I've learned from it is that it led me to the place of much greater fulfillment doing my life's work, which is coaching and teaching and speaking. And so those changes don't always come in a way that you're expecting them or wanting them necessarily, but it's always in service of your higher good, I believe. And so one of the things that I've discovered along the way is that what's really important to operating from your genius zone is being able to come from that place of your sweet spot, as I like to call it. So that's that place where your values and your purpose and your passions and your natural talents all come together. They come together in a way that enables you to feel good every day, getting up out of bed and going to work and being of contribution in one way, shape, or another, right? Bringing your unique gifts and talents and perspectives to it. And, you know, some folks get stuck in some of those places. They might be clear on what their core values are, but they might not know what their purpose is. Or they might know what their purpose is, but they don't know, or they haven't been able to apply it through their natural talents in a good way that has really been able to sustain them. And so I've found a variety of different tools that have helped me do that for myself. And then it's been something that I've been able to share then again with clients and friends and family too along the way. Excuse me. So one of the tools that I've discovered that I found to be really, really helpful, which enabled me to see more clearly what is my natural place of operating from, what's that natural place of flow, you know, that zone we get into when we're, you know, firing on all cylinders and really enjoying what we're doing. That's that place. You know, athletes call it the zone, musicians call it the pocket. It's called different things in different places. Excuse me. I'm a little verklempt today. Something caught in my throat. And so I thought it would be cool to share with you this particular tool that I've used and why I found it to be so helpful as an objective perspective. And I find it to be very different than something like a Myers-Briggs assessment or a DISC or even a Strengths Finder, because it enables people to look at where they operate from most easily and effortlessly, but then also how does that apply to their leadership skills and their communication skills. And it can then also be utilized as a as a team development tool and a project management tool. So it's got all these multi-layers to it that I've continued to uncover over the years that I've been using it. So I was going to do a screen share here, and I'll just pull up a little ditty about it, and you guys can see more about what that is. So it's an assessment that's called Talent Dynamics, and essentially it was developed by a gentleman by the name of Roger Hamilton, and it's based on the I Ching, actually, which is a 3,000-year-old Chinese document, which in itself I find really fascinating because it aligns with the seasons. And if you look at any business, at any project, they all have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Just like the seasons do. You know, we start in spring, we move to summer, we end up in autumn, and then we finish with winter, right? So this is just a little graphic to help demonstrate what those different facets of it are. So it breaks it down actually into 8 different profile types. And each one is based on a combination of these 4 different energies, right? So we come back up here, you have dynamo energy, which is the season of spring, the element of wood. You have blaze energy, which is the season of summer and the element of fire. At the bottom, we have tempo, which is the element of earth and the season of autumn. And over here on the left, we have steel energy, which is the season of winter and the element of metal. And in the center at the apex is spirit, which is the element of water and the season of transition. And so if you, by taking this assessment, you'll understand and you'll be able to see very objectively what your predominant energies are, where you operate from most easily, and then how can that be utilized as a leadership tool for yourself and for your communications. I found it to be fascinating on so many different levels, and continue to learn more and more about it every single day, as I've been using it now for, I think, probably 3 years. So my question for you all is, what are some of the challenges that you come up against in your leadership that get in your way, that you wish you might have a different way to operate through that challenge? Anything come up for you?
Michelle, I think for me, it's like, I don't know, sometimes I get an inferior feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate that because for some reason I always feel little, like everybody else is bigger and older. I don't know if that's because I'm the youngest child, I was raised that way, but I find that when I'm comfortable, I'm at my best for some reason. But when I get comfortable, like in a situation and I'm around a lot of people, that's sometimes I feel like that, and I feel like I'm reverting back to where I started,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a good feeling.
Yeah, no, it's never a good feeling when you're outside of your comfort zone, is it? And so, Jen, would you say you tend to enjoy working with people, or in a more extroverted way, or do you find yourself to be maybe a little more introverted and prefer kind of working in that solo mode?
I want to say I'm a little bit of both. I mean, I enjoy being around a lot of people, although if I have to actually participate, I find it kind of hard. Um, but on some level, I enjoy it because it's something that's new and something I'm forced to do.
Okay. And then in your work, do you have to manage a lot of details, um, or are you more of a idea generator at the beginning of a process?
No, I want to say it's more detail work, board governance, things that are coming up. It's a lot of like keeping the right things going when they're supposed to be. But and the leadership aspect of it just kind of got thrown in there because I don't think that was part of this job before I came here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a nice balance, and I think it's helped me work in that respect because I deal with a lot of board members and I just love them. So I think it's really helped me, and I think I've got a lot more to learn.
Yeah. Well, there's always more to learn, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so when you can understand more of what those natural strengths of yours are, and that place where you are most comfortable, then you can start to configure how you operate on the daily more and more from that place versus the places that are uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So let me give you an example. On From this profile assessment, I am a creator type, which is at the top of the square. So I'm full of ideas. I can make ideas and generate and brainstorm all day long, every day. I love it, right? But if you put me down in the weeds, in my mind, of doing lots of paperwork and managing lots of things, then it can get really challenging for me. And so what I've learned is that the more I can stay in my zone as a creator type and bring more people onto my team to help me with some of those nitty gritty details, the better I'm served and the better my clients are served.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Yeah. So if you had to say what are some of the things that you really don't like to do in your work? What are the parts that are really hard or you procrastinate around?
There's some aspects of my job. I mean, they're monotonous. They come up month after month, and I tend to get bored with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm forced to do it. Sometimes there's things that come out of the blue where it's kind of nice to get back to that normalcy. But I mean, that I think is like my biggest challenge with the job is that, a routine. I don't like being a routine person. It's just not me.
Okay. So you like lots of variety then?
I do, yes.
Okay. And it looks like Angie Rinkup has joined us. Are you there, Angie?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Welcome to the call. Excited you're here.
I was committed and making double darn down sure that I was going to be on this call, and everything has been going haywire this week, and I may be here late, but sister, I'm here.
Yay, better late than never. Better late than never.
Yeah.
Well, just to fill you in, today we're talking about how to operate more from your genius zone and less from your uncomfortable zone, right? And so I've been sharing with everyone the talent dynamics assessment profile that I utilize. I've found it to be immensely helpful for my own self and my own growth for my, growing my business. But it's something I utilize with all the people I work with too, because it's so powerful and so quick and easy to take. And it enables folks to really step into that place with greater clarity, right? So we were just talking with Jen here, who's in Connecticut, about what she loves about her job and what she doesn't love about her job.
What's Jen's last name?
I'll let you pronounce it, Jen.
It's Lubowski.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Jen Lubowski.
Okay. Good to meet you, Jen. I'm having to toggle my volume up and down so I can hear Jen is very soft and then you're louder, however the speaker's working.
Yeah. Jen,
so
we're going to need you to speak up.
It down and,
yeah.
So when you speak, I have to turn it down, and when Jen's speaking, I'm having to turn it up.
Well, then I'll whisper. How's that?
Thank you. All
right.
So please say what you were saying again, Jen.
My last name? Is that what you were asking me?
Yes.
Yeah, what was the last thing that you were saying?
It's Lubowski.
Okay, what was the last comment that you were making?
Oh, I was talking about my job and how I have certain functions that are required every month, and I hate routine, and that's my biggest challenge is trying to stick to that routine without getting bored with my position.
Okay.
Cool. And so what that tells me, Jen, is that you probably have more of the blaze energies, and because that energy likes a lot of variety, likes to meet different people, likes to talk with people, feels energized by that kind of variety. And so when you can learn more about how that works for you, then you can be like, okay, so these routine tasks that I have to do are something that I have to do every month. But if there's a way that I can delegate this or systematize it so it makes it less burdensome or less, quote, routine, the better off you're going to be, right? All right. And Angie, is that you typing, love?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know who's typing. I'm hearing typing.
Okay.
No worries. And so when we're in this zone, things run more easily, more effectively. So Angie, tell Jen a little bit about what you do, and what is it that you love about your work that has you feel like you're in that sweet spot for you.
I am a consummate Southerner. I'm here in Atlanta and was raised in South Georgia. The name of my practice is Financial Care Providers, and I am a big old caretaker. I take care of everyone, everything. I don't mind my own business, and I've got a really strong analytical side to my mind. I'm a senior analyst, and I can just, you think I'm really social and you think I'm really nice and I have a great time when I'm with people. And then I can just go off into data and technical stuff and just be happy there too. I just don't have a lot in the middle. It makes me a little bit different, and I'm fine with that. And what I find, I really like helping people, taking care of things, and being that strategic planner, that problem solver for people. When I've done tests like the Colby, I came out as a strategic planner. I like figuring things out and taking care of folks. I am not in that zone today. When I am burdened with paper and technicals and to-dos and all that stuff. And so, and I have been working diligently to get better. I kind of cut out planning and tracking and all that kind of stuff, goal setting in my business to give me more time to just get shit done. I mean, I'm just better if you just cut me loose and let me go. Mm-hmm. What I find for myself is I am trying to get a little bit back into that and block out half days or whatever I need to get some of the stuff done so that I can be with people, problem solving, figuring them out. The research side of my personality, I love hearing about people. I love knowing what they have going on. And with my practice as large as it is, I'm in contact with a lot of people and a lot of their lives. I'm very empathetic. Mm-hmm. And I've got to get this bulk of to-dos and stuff out of my way so that I can be present and engaged with the people I'm around.
Mm-hmm. So Angie, one thing that could help you do that is having an assistant who can do some of those details. And so perhaps you have this person. I don't know.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I have tried on and off some different things. And I'm at the point in my practice where income is still going up because I'm working larger cases, kind of more complex cases, bigger pieces of assets. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of resorted to that as I went independent in 2010 and there's more work to do. I've tried delegating some, and I haven't found what I need. We've got some virtual assistants here. Mm-hmm. That hasn't worked. I had someone that worked for me 3 days a week. That didn't work. Right now, I job out some of my real, administrative tasks to our receptionist and pay her hourly. Mm-hmm. And she's freaking amazing. She does a great job. But when I hire somebody that's got any training in our field, they just don't get the work done. Part of the reason why I haven't hired somebody is I like having my freedom. So like if there's a Friday and an appointment cancels and I just don't want to come in, I want to work from house or something, I can. Mm-hmm. And if I had a full-time assistant, I would have to be more structured. Mm. Okay. So I'm working myself into being between a rock and a hard place, and I guess that's good because I guess it's progress.
Yes, and
We'll figure out.
What? So I love it. You're such a perfect case study.
I'm the case is what I am.
No, no. And so part of this, and I hear you, girl, because I have my own challenges in this arena, and that's learning how to delegate effectively and letting go in such a way, trusting that it's going to get done. It might not get done exactly the way you would have done it because they're not you, but in order for you to grow your practice, and this is, you know, the same for you, Jen, in your career, in order for you to expand, so you're getting out of the pieces and parts that you don't like, you have to be able to trust and let go and hand over to someone. So finding the way to have that person and negotiating the agreement in such a way that it works for both of you. So you might have someone who's local for you that comes into the office, but then, you know, you can call them on a moment's notice and go, hey, I'm not going to be in the office today. You can work from home as well. And if you need me, call me. Right. And I know it's not that simple. There's, you know, a lot of nuances to it for sure. But it's about removing that extra piece of work off of your plate so that you're freed up to do more of what you do really best, right? And so, for example, as I mentioned earlier, I'm a creative profile, which enables me to step into both a mechanic stance and a star stance. That allows me to do more detail work or to be out in front on stage, if you will, presenting and training and teaching and stuff. But when it comes to being down here at the bottom of the square as a trader or deal maker or accumulator, those areas are more challenging for me. And it takes me more time and more energy to get through those things, like, you know, doing reports and doing travel reimbursements and all that kind of stuff. It's like, and I have to really force myself to do it. So in order to free up that space and that energy to be able to apply it to things that actually earn me more revenue, then it's a matter of finding, you know, hiring the right people on your team to do those various different aspects. So for you, Angie, what are some of the biggest pieces that if you handed off, it would give you, you know, a lot more freedom and mental space and time?
That's hard. Part of the reason is because I'm a hen, and I sit right on top of my clients, and I sit right on top of their work. And because of who they are, I manage differently for different clients. I manage around their own needs set. So it's hard for me to delegate because, Michele, if I were to give it to you,
Mm-hmm.
the answer in this situation, if I put you in that situation with 3 different clients, there's 3 different answers.
Okay.
That's what makes it hard. So some of the things that I don't have a lot of homogenous work to be done. And I'm a taskmaster. I can just eat that crap up. I'm the person you wish you could hire me. Because I can't, by the time I've handed it off and thought through it and found 3 different, as my brain goes through you doing it, figured out 3 different ways that it could go wrong and what I need to tell you, I would have already done it.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it, you know, hard for me to delegate.
I get that. I get that. And it's still about releasing that time. So I have a client I'm working with right now. She's a lawyer. She works in the financial realms. as a lawyer, and
Yeah.
she has a small team, and she was just sharing with me that she has to like prepare everything to hand it off to her paralegal or her senior, the other attorney on her team, which is time consuming. But yet it still gets it off of her plate. So while it still takes her time to do it, it's still saving her time in the longer run, right? So it's about looking at how can you save more chunks of time.
Yeah, it's just hard for me too, because then I'm following up on what somebody does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Michelle, you're fast, and you come back to me very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to get somebody doing these jobs, they hit glitches, they stop. I follow up with them, it's done wrong. I end up following up with people way too much.
Following up with people you hire.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, following up with people you hire.
Like in general, you end up, it's just like, yeah. So it's like following up and making sure things get completed. And, how do I say this? If you sat down with something and you transferred, you are an executive mindset. And if you sat down and you transferred $40,000, and I said, be sure that it gets, follow up with it and make sure it gets handled. Even when you're paying high dollars for admin help, even though I put that on the list of to-dos of how to do this process, you find out that people are just lazy. They don't want to do it. Where you would go through it and you'd be like, yeah, I got it. Now with the people you work with, I have to qualify it by having them print out that the transfer happened and then check on it. And then I spend my whole day being in service to somebody I'm paying $40 an hour to, when really, in my opinion, their work is worth 12.
Right. I get it.
And if I handed it off to you, you would come back to me, and I would not have any problems. I would know that if I gave you the steps, you would just accept without question that you needed to qualify, you needed to guarantee the transfer hit. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally do. Yeah, so it's about finding the right person, and that in and of itself is challenging and can be very time consuming. And so it's a balance of looking at where you're at, where you want to be, and what are the growing pains that have to be gone through to get to the other side. So this client I mentioned earlier, she's, bless her soul, she's spent a year trying to find the right assistant, right? She has a great paralegal who was her assistant and has, moved up, and it's been really challenging, and we've finally have gotten the right mix for her, and it's enabling her to start to rapidly expand what she and her team can do, because she's getting the support she needs, right? But yeah, it's not always easy to find that right person. So, but I would say, for you, Angie, is looking at what are the things that you can delegate, more of the minutia bits, and then start to look at what type of person that you would need to be able to successfully handle those pieces. One of the tools that I've utilized with folks is the talent dynamics here, to help them identify what are the core competencies that this person needs to have, and then writing the job description based on those core competencies, based on what profile type would be complementary to yours, to provide that balance. Because that's one thing this is really great for, is helping you to look at, okay, so for me as a creator, I need to have on my team a star profile, someone who can go out and do more of the promotions for me. and an accumulator profile, which is somebody who can do all of the details and the paperwork and the back end stuff, which enables me to fly and do all of the parts that I love the most. So Jen, for you, in your role, it sounds like having someone, you know, who you can delegate some of those nitty gritty details to, and this looks a little differently in corporate America than it does when you're owning your own business. I understand that completely. So what are some creative ways that you might be able to resolve some of the minutia that you have to do in your role, Jen?
I think I have to purposely find ways to get out of that repetition.
Mm-hmm.
Just to, from month to month, I have to specifically sit down and think, what am I going to do to challenge myself while I'm working on this that I could pretty much do, not even thinking about it. There's certain goals that I have, goals that we have to set for ourselves here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I come from a line of work where everybody always told me what to do. So now I'm in a position to release myself, which is great. So I think maybe if I can, I don't know, try to add something different to the monotony. But there has to be a way around it. I just haven't found it yet.
Okay. Yeah. And are there other people in your organization that have to do these similar kinds of tasks?
No, I work for the organization, like I get paid for the organization, but I basically don't work for them because I work for the board. So it's not like I have an assistant to help me or anybody else who does what I do. I'm the only one here who does it.
Okay. Yeah, well then coming up with some creative ways to tackle that each month will help it feel less challenging. The other cool thing, another way that you can tackle that if you can't delegate it and it's just something that you have to get through, then I resort to ninja mind tricks. Because your brain is always listening and it will do what you tell it to do. So you can lie to your brain and say, wow, this is so much fun. I'm so excited that I get to do this report again this month. Yay, right? And literally have to psych yourself up that way. Because then your brain will be like, oh, okay, we're having fun. Great. All right. And then it will release serotonin and some endorphins while you're doing that, which will make you feel better and have it feel less, painful and heavy and want to procrastinate or, stick your head in the sand about it.
It's worth a shot. I mean, it's not terrible. It's just monotonous.
No, it's nothing terrible about it. We all have those kinds of tasks that we dislike doing, right? Like Angie can do numbers all day long, every day with her eyes closed, and I would rather pull my fingernails out, right? It's just like, don't make me do that. Oh, wait, but I have to, right?
And I'm the one who, I put everything in order. I am like the neatnik, and Michele is just not. I can just clean everything up and have everything in order and put everything in place. And, I think it makes Michele crazy because she comes in and immediately unorders everything.
Well, I don't know about that, but I appreciate your order.
No, but as you do stuff, it's just, and not in a bad way, but I just noticed that she and I are so different in that area. And Michele doesn't need to have everything in order to think. She just can think.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you saw my desk,
have everything
vomit probably, but that's okay.
I just have to have everything cleaned up and everything in good order before I can get into that space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's some of what I'm trying to do here is trying to get everything cleaned up so that I can be in that space and be in my strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, it's I just accept that with myself.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
I'm booking that downtime so I can create that space. And that's part of what I did with my home, is I redid stuff so that I could get all the stuff out of there so that I could think again.
Nice. I can't wait to see it.
Cool. And I'm looking at calendar stuff. I've got to respond to your message as well.
Sure. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, Jen, I live here in California, and I lived in Atlanta for many years. That's Angie and I have known each other for, God, I don't know, almost 30 years or something kind of crazy like that. But I'm going to be traveling back east in August for my dad's 80th birthday party. So hopefully I'll get to see Miss Angie while I pop through Atlanta.
Yep.
That must be brutal.
Yeah, it's hot, but it's all right. It's all right.
That's okay. Jen, I would never make it through a Connecticut winter.
Exactly. Not in a heartbeat.
It's a beautiful winter.
If you say so, Jen, I'll take your word for it. Right? And this is the nuance of all of this, right? It's all of our preferences that come into play and what we've learned, and the difference in our inherent natural personalities that we bring to our lives and we bring to our work and to the things that we love. And so when you can capture those finer nuances and appreciate them and love them and understand, oh, okay, this is an area of challenge for me, then you can get the support, whether it's in, being able to delegate it, or even if it's just a friend or a colleague or your coach cheering you on from the sidelines, go, you can do it, right? Because sometimes we just need that too. But it's also about learning how to respect the differences in others, right? As Angie said, she's very neat and tidy, and I'm not necessarily that. And but I love.
But what I noticed is, like, it's okay. Like, if I don't have to accomplish anything, it's kind of okay that there's scattering in my environment,
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm trying to think, I can't think in the scatter. I have to have it all cleaned up first. And that is in no way a requirement for Michele. And Michelle's not dirty. She just scatters things. It's like everything in me has to be lined up. She can think like that, but I'm someone who I can't think in that environment.
Yeah. And so the nice thing about this is when you can understand what the profiles are of your teammates, it makes it much easier to communicate and not get hung up in misassumptions or misinterpretations, because as human beings, we tend to think, oh, everyone sees the world just the way I see the world, but that's not the case at all, right? And so when folks are operating from different ends of the spectrum, it can be really challenging. A great example is I had some clients I was working with, and one was a supporter profile over here. So very extroverted, very high energy, and was fast on her feet. Her colleague was a mechanic, which is on the other side from her, and she needed more time to process information and take it in and to make decisions that she felt good about. And they were knocking heads because Bernita was like, come on, make a decision. Why is this so hard? And Sharon was like, well, hold on there, Sparky, give me a second. And it was creating all this headbutting. And so by taking them through this process, they were able to see, oh, we just operate differently. So I can respect you from this place and you can respect me from this place, and we can find the middle ground. And it helped to dismantle some of the the tensions and the problems that were growing between them. And, you know, the tensions in their communication style have gone down, which enables everybody to work more effectively and with less stress, right? So you can start to see how, from a team perspective, it can be really, really helpful for people to understand where they sit in relationship to their colleagues. And then you can also even then utilize it as a whole kind of project management tool. Instead of delegating tasks by job title, you're actually delegating tasks for a project based on who has this particular strength for this particular task based on their profile. So I find it fascinating. It's like puzzle pieces, right? How do you put all the puzzle pieces together to get the most effective outcomes with the greatest joy and the least amount of stress? So it's a really nice way to help each individual work more and more from their genius zone and reduce the amount of stress that is popping up for them. So any questions about any of that?
No, none from me. I'm actually going to probably look it up online and read more about it.
Well, I can send you a link, Jen. I've got some information about it on my website if that's of interest. You can read more about it. I've got some videos and testimonials and some free e-guides as well that you can check out.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Angie, any questions about that?
No, I'm good.
All
Thank
right.
you for taking me in late.
Sure thing. Well, just as a reminder, again, we have our special expert hour call next Friday. It's a bonus call this month with Tammy Cabell from Career Resume Consulting. She's going to be walking us through how to utilize LinkedIn to its fullest capacity with its new interface. She's been utilizing it whiz bang with her team and has accelerated her revenues by like 300% in the past year. It's been
Will
crazy.
you please resend the details on that so I can get that on the?
I will. I hadn't sent it out yet because I didn't want to confuse people with today's call, but I will send it out today with all of those details.
That's why that's why the details are not on. I put you on my calendar, and then when you send out the details, I put it in the notes section.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at that, I didn't have anything in my notes section.
Yes. So mark same bat time next Friday, June 23rd, will be the LinkedIn call with Tammy, who will be our guest speaker, if you will. So
thank you.
All righty. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for being here. I will be getting the recording up into the Facebook page and onto the Wonder Woman Unite page, membership page on my website as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. And we will see you all hopefully next week on the call with Tammy Cabell. And then lastly, our next call for July will be July 21st. So mark your calendars for that same bat time, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, 12:30 Eastern, 5:30 British UK time. And I thank you all for being here and wish you a wonderful weekend. I hope you stay cool. It's going to be a hot one here for once. So
thank you.
All right, you guys, we'll take care. Many blessings. And Angie, I'll look forward to connecting with you in the ether.
Thank you. You got it. Thanks, girl. Bye-bye.
Bye.